The leash that hums, sinking souls one breath at a time. This isn't about getting your dog to follow you, it's about learning to move as one. Book description. You thought this was a training book. It isn't. It's a remembering. The Leash That Hums is a soulful, science-informed invitation to rediscover what lies beneath behavior, rhythm, resonance, and the quiet intelligence of connection. Each chapter follows the story of a moment. One dog, one person, one chance to shift from chaos into coherence. Along the way, you'll explore groundbreaking neuroscience, embodied practices and reflections that dissolve the old obedience paradigm and awaken a deeper partnership. This is not a book about obedience, it's about listening with your whole body. Because sometimes the leash doesn't pull, it sings. Chapter 1. The signal within the static. When behavior isn't the problem, it's the pattern. You say their name, again. You've already said it 5 times, maybe 6, maybe more. You've pulled the leash, you've raised your voice. They don't turn, don't even flick an ear. You try a treat, the good kind. Nothing. It's like you've vanished. And somewhere behind your ribs, frustration sharpens. What's wrong with him today? Why won't she listen? The more invisible you feel, the louder you become. That's the moment, the edge of rupture, where training often fails and relationship tries to speak. Because here's what you weren't taught. Your dog isn't tuning you out. They're tuned to something else. And the real question isn't, why won't they focus? It's, are we even on the same frequency? The static of trying too hard. Disconnection wears many masks. Barking, pulling, sniffing with too much focus. Looking everywhere but you. It's easy to label it defiance, or distraction, or stubbornness. But what if that disconnection is a symptom of misalignment? 2 beings, same leash, different rhythms. One nervous system braced, the other overwhelmed. Neither fully here. That's not a training problem. That's a tuning issue. And tuning requires stillness, not silence, stillness. A pause long enough to hear what's underneath the noise. The breath that realigns. The leash was slack. The morning was cold. You weren't expecting anything, but your dog paused, turned, looked. Not for a treat, not for a command, just looked. And something ancient, delicate, wordless moved between you. You exhaled. They blinked. And in that instant, you both softened. What if this isn't about teaching your dog to obey? What if it's about becoming someone they can sync with? The science of resonance. At Caltech, researchers placed humans inside virtual reality while scanning their brainwaves in real time. The result? Neural synchronization increased when pairs shared a rhythm, eye contact, breath, movement. They called it team flow. And the most astonishing finding? When aligned, both brains functioned as one, not metaphorically, literally. Dogs do this too. They watch your face, match your movements, mirror your heart rate. They don't need commands, they need coherence. The practice. 60 seconds to sync. Here's how to find the thread again. Stop. Let the leash fall gently slack. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Fill your belly, not your chest. Exhale for 6. Slow, audible, like a sigh. Look at them. Not hard, not long, just soft. Don't ask for anything. Just stay in rhythm. Let your presence be the cue. Let your nervous system lead the way. Do this before a walk, before a recall cue, before anything that matters. It's not magic, but it might feel like it. A visual to hold on to. 2 nervous systems, 2 states. Chart can be found in the PDF handout. A quiet question. What if all they needed was for you to breathe first? When you shift, everything shifts. Whisper from the pack. You don't need to get ahead of your dog. You just need to get beside them. Chapter 2. That one wild zoomie. When joy interrupts everything you thought was important. The coffee spilled, the leash tangled, a shoe flew across the yard, and for a split second, you forgot everything. Your schedule, your plan, your intention to be consistent today. Because your dog, your ridiculous, brilliant dog, just exploded into the kind of joy that can't be rehearsed. Tail a blur, tongue flopping, zooming like the grass itself had secrets. You opened your mouth to yell, but what came out wasn't frustration. It was laughter, the kind that surprises your body, the kind that reminds you you're still alive. That was not a distraction. That was an invitation. What we try to control might be what we most need. You wanted a calm dog. You got a tornado in fur. You wanted stillness. You got chaos. But what if that chaos is medicine? What if your dog isn't misbehaving, but offering a moment your nervous system forgot how to receive? We spend so much time trying to control the energy that we miss the miracle hiding inside it. The science of awe in 10 seconds. In a recent study, researchers asked people to notice one wow moment a day. That was it. No journaling, no yoga mat, no grand revelations. Just notice and breathe. The results? Lower cortisol, higher resilience, sharper focus. Not from work, not from productivity, from wonder. And here's the wild part. The awe didn't need to come from sunsets or symphonies. It came from small things. A crooked smile, a shared glance, a dog losing their mind over a moth. Your dog, the portal. You don't need to schedule awe. You just need to stop shutting the door on it. Your dog is a daily portal to aliveness, to absurdity, to the unfiltered joy you've tried to tidy. What if every time they zoom, you zoom out too? The practice, the micro-awe snap. Let this be a ritual. Catch a moment. Not perfect, not posed, just raw joy. Snap a photo, or don't. The photo isn't the point. The pause is. Breathe it in for 10 seconds. Not with your mind, with your body. Let it land. Let awe be a nutrient, a supplement for your spirit. Do this once a day. Your dog's joy is contagious, but only if you stop resisting the symptoms. Chart. Awe versus stress response. Chart can be found in the PDF handout. A quiet question. What if the zoomies were a prayer? And your job was simply to say amen, whisper from the pack. Awe isn't childish, it's cellular. Chapter 3. The failure loop. When pushing harder isn't the answer, but the problem. He froze. You were halfway through the drill, something you'd done before. It wasn't new. It wasn't hard. Not really. But today... He stopped, eyes lowered, shoulders dipped. He wasn't ignoring you. He was sinking. You called again, voice a notch too high. He didn't flinch, didn't budge. Something inside him had curled inward, and something inside you wanted to push. We mistake stillness for stubbornness. But sometimes it's shutdown. When the brain says no more, search and rescue dogs are trained to be heroes. They work under pressure, through rubble, after disasters. But even they have a breaking point. Recent studies show that when SAR dogs encounter repeated failure, their heart rate variability crashes, not because they're physically exhausted, but because they're emotionally fried. The researchers called it learned discouragement. You've felt it too. So has your dog. Every time we ask them to push through without a win, we teach their nervous system. Trying leads to nothing. And slowly, they stop trying. The real cost of repetition. Repetition is a double-edged leash. Used gently, it builds confidence. Used harshly, it builds fear. We often repeat in frustration, not clarity. Again. Nope. Again. Come on. Again. But the brain isn't a machine, and the heart, it remembers whether success feels possible. If your dog gives up easily, it's not because they're lazy. It's because they've learned what not winning feels like. The practice. Win streak reset. Let's shift from pressure to rhythm. Here's how to build emotional endurance without breakdown. Offer a challenge, ask for a hard cue, or train near a trigger, just enough to stretch. Then offer a slam dunk. Nose target, favorite trick. Eye contact for a treat. End on that win. Let the session close on success, not struggle. Watch the tail, the breath, the bounce return. That's nervous system repair in real time. Confidence isn't built by demand, it's built by flow, the balance between reach and rest. Chart, the frustration spiral versus the confidence loop. Chart can be found in the PDF handout. A quiet question. Where in your own life have you stopped trying? Not because you couldn't do it, but because the effort never led to a win. Now imagine your dog in that place. That's where we train them, unless we learn to lead them out. Whisper from the pack. Confidence isn't built by effort, and it's built by rhythm. Chapter 4. The touch that settled everything. When calm isn't taught, it's transferred. It happened without planning. You were just trying to hold it together. The leash was tight in your hand, your jaw tighter. You saw the trigger too late. That dog, that noise, that sudden slam of energy through your spine, and there they were. Your dog, already coiling, already calculating. Do we bolt? Bark? Shut down? But instead of reacting, you did something you hadn't done before. You breathed. Not a perfect breath, not even a slow one, just real, present. A single grounded inhale. And you placed your hand lightly on their chest. No words, no corrections, and somehow they softened. What the nervous system feels first. Before your dog hears your voice, that they feel your state. Before the cue leaves your lips, your physiology has already spoken. This isn't training, it's transmission. And the leash? It's not a rope, it's a current. Your nervous system is always broadcasting. The question is, what's your signal? The science of calm transmission. Thought field therapy, TFT, a cousin of emotional freedom technique, has been tested head-to-head with cognitive behavioral therapy for anxiety. And in recent findings, 1 minute of simple tapping matched the results of 6 full sessions of CBT. How? Because regulation isn't just cognitive, it's energetic, electrical, somatic. When you change your rhythm, your heart rate, your pressure, your tone, your dog entrains to it. This is why yelling doesn't work, and why soft hands, even without words, do. The practice. The 90-second calm code. This is a ritual of reset. For you, but also for the dog watching your every move. How to do it. Tap each of the following points 5 times with your fingertips. Say nothing, just breathe. EB, eyebrow. UN, under nose. CF, chin. IF, inside forearm. CB, collarbone. UA, underarm. TH, top of head. Let your breath drop in. Let your shoulders follow. Wait, just for a few seconds. Let the new signal reach your dog. Then move, slowly, clearly, without tension. This is not magic, but it might feel like the opposite of panic. And that's enough. Chart, before versus after. Handler energy shift. Chart can be found in PDF handout. A quiet question. Have you ever entered a room and felt peace before anyone spoke? What if you could become that room? For your dog, whisper from the pack. Calm. Travels faster than commands. Chapter 5. The reflection. I resisted. When the thing you can't stand is the part you forgot was yours. It wasn't just the barking, it was the refusal. That moment when you call their name. Sweet, then sharp, then silent. And they don't come. Not just distracted, not afraid. Just no. You felt the heat rise in your chest, in your hands, that flash of, how dare you? And under that, something else, something familiar, not from dog training. From you, the hidden mirror. There's a reason your dog's behavior gets under your skin, not because it's bad, not because it's dangerous, but because it echoes something you've pushed away. That part of you that also resists being told what to do, the part that digs in, not out of malice, but out of self-protection. Dogs don't lie. They don't perform. They embody, and sometimes they embody the exact part of us we haven't made peace with yet, the shadow at the end of the leash. Jung called it the shadow. The part of us we exile in order to be good. We send it into hiding. It doesn't disappear. It finds expression elsewhere, in habits, in dreams, in our dogs. Not because they're broken, but because they're bonded. What we repress, they often act out. Not as rebellion, as relationship, the practice, the mirror prompt. This is not a worksheet. This is a door. Write this down. I can't stand when my dog ... Pause. Feel it. Don't explain it. Now ask, where in my life do I do a version of this? Notice what flinches. That's your doorway. Sit with it. Let insight rise, not rush. This is how training becomes therapy. This is how the leash becomes a lens. Chart. Dog behavior versus human echo. Chart can be found in the PDF handout. A quiet question. What if the part of your dog you most want to change is the part of you asking to be loved? Whisper from the pack, what you resist in them may be what you've abandoned in you. Epilogue. Rhythm restored. When the leash becomes a listening line, you still clip it on. That hasn't changed. The leash is there every morning, coiled beside the door, waiting like it always has. But now, it feels different in your hand. Not heavier, not lighter. More like it knows something now. Maybe it always did. Maybe you're the one who's different. You walk slower. Not lazy, just less rushed. Your shoulders rest further from your ears. Your breath matches their gait. You used to check your phone during walks. Now your hand finds fur instead. You used to rehearse problems in your mind. Now you notice the wind, the way their ears flick toward birdsong. You remember what stillness feels like. You still train, of course you do. But the reason's changed. You don't train to fix. You train to feel the flow, the signal, the shift. You train because it's another way to listen. And what began as obedience has become a language. You speak with your whole body. You used to think a well-trained dog was one who listened. Now you know it's the one who syncs. And the kind of person they sync with isn't the one who gets every cue right. It's the one who learns how to hum. Whisper from the pack. The leash was never meant to control, it was meant to conduct. Bonus tools section. Field rituals and reflections to deepen your practice. Print them, post them, practice them. 1. The 60-second sync. Before each walk, each cue, each moment of stress. Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 6 seconds. Soft eye contact, no commands, just rhythm. Use before engagement. Return to it after intensity. 2. The micro-awe snap. Once per day. Notice a moment of delight. Snap a photo, optional. Breathe in the image for 10 seconds. Let your dog be your guru of wonder. 3. The win streak reset. Anytime frustration appears, ask for a stretch cue. Immediately follow with a guaranteed win. Praise. End the session. Confidence is built through relief, not perfection. 4. The 90-second calm code, TFT sequence. Before high-stress situations or reactive triggers, tap each point 5 times. EB, UN, CF, IF, CB, UA, TH. Tap while breathing slowly. Let your nervous system lead. The mirror prompt. During any recurring behavior you can't stand. Write, I can't stand when my dog ... Ask, Where do I do a version of this in my life? Insight makes space for grace. What's next? For more Wag Wisdom insights, please visit Coaching Canine Companions.